Have you ever stopped to think about how one single place, a really sacred place, can actually have multiple identities? And what that tells us about, well, culture and language and maybe even devotion.
Oh, absolutely. It's quite something, isn't it? How names themselves carry so much weight, spiritually, culturally.
Especially when a place is just so central to the faith of, well, millions.
Exactly. And what's fascinating here, I think, is how these different layers of identity, shown through different names, can actually coexist. They almost tell a deeper story, a shared story.
Right. And that's pretty much our mission today. We
Yeah.
want to unpack the really rich history, the spiritual core, and maybe those interesting cultural bits behind these two main names, Tiruvannamalai and Arunachalam.
Hmm.
We're going to explore something that maybe looked like a name fight recently, but actually it's more of a name sensitivity, you could say.
That's a good way to put it. Sensitivity. It's like a window into India's amazing linguistic diversity, isn't it? And the real power packed into place names.
It really shows how diverse communities, even with their own unique languages, often gather around a shared spiritual anchor.
Yeah. And each group approaches it through its own traditions, its own cherished ways.
And what an anchor this place is. Just try to picture it. Transport yourself there to this vibrant center of devotion. It's not just any town.
No, definitely not.
This is Tiruvannamalai, or as many know it, like Arunachalam. It's this spiritually charged place in Tamil Nadu, India, and it just hums with this almost touchable energy.
You feel it, right? The centuries of faith seem to just radiate from the ground up. It's where the everyday world feels completely infused with something divine.
Totally. And right at the heart of it all is the Arunachaleswara Temple, a huge pilgrimage site dedicated to Lord Shiva.
And it's not just any temple, it's one of the Panchabhuta stalams.
Ah, right, the five elements temples.
Exactly. 5 major Shiva temples, each representing one of the primordial elements. And this one, Tiruvannamalai's temple, it embodies Agni, the fire element itself.
Wow, a temple built around fire. And it's ancient, isn't it? Like, really ancient.
Oh, we're talking over 1,000 years of history here. You've got contributions from these massive dynasties, the Cholas, the Pandyas, the Vijayanagara kings. They all left their mark.
You can see in the scale. The complex is, what, 25 acres? It's immense.
It is. And those gates, the gopurams, especially the eastern one, it stands at a staggering 217 feet. It's like this monumental beacon, visible for miles. Almost like Shiva wanted his home to be easily spotted.
A spiritual lighthouse, maybe? Pulling pilgrims in?
You could say that. And the carvings everywhere, they're not just decoration, they tell stories. They show incredible skill built up over centuries.
And inside, the main lingam, the representation of Shiva.
That's believed to be Swayambhu,
Meaning?
self-manifested. It wasn't sculpted by human hands. The belief is that it appeared directly from the divine. A direct emanation.
That idea, a direct manifestation, is incredibly powerful, and it extends beyond the temple walls, doesn't it, to the hill itself.
Absolutely. The sacred Arunachala hill is just as central. It rises about 2,668 feet. But it's not just a mountain, geologically speaking.
No, it's seen as Shiva himself, right? A living form.
Precisely. The entire hill is revered as a living manifestation of Lord Shiva. Imagine that a whole mountain embodying the deity. That shapes the whole experience of being there.
And there's that powerful legend connected to it.
Yes, the Lingathbhava story. It's fundamental. The story goes that Shiva appeared as this infinite column of fire to settle a dispute between Brahma and Vishnu about who was supreme.
Right, they couldn't find the top or the bottom.
Exactly, proving Shiva's ultimate nature. And this isn't just some old story tucked away. You see depictions of it everywhere in the temple art and architecture. It constantly reinforces the hill's sacredness.
So it's clear this isn't just history preserved in stone, it's alive. People practice these traditions constantly.
Oh, absolutely. It's a living, breathing tradition. Millions of devotees come. One of the most important practices is the Girivalam.
That's the walk around the hill.
Yes, the sacred 14-kilometer circumambulation of Arunachala Hill, walking around its base. It's considered incredibly auspicious, and you see people from all walks of life doing it. For many, it's a deeply personal, even transformative spiritual practice, like a serious way to get your steps in while earning spiritual merit.
14 kilometers, that's quite a commitment.
It is, and the path can get really crowded, especially during festivals or auspicious times. And speaking of festivals, Karthigai Deepam is huge, usually November, December timeframe.
That's the one with the giant lamb.
That's the one. A massive lamp, a huge cauldron filled with ghee and camphor, is lit right on top of Arunachala Hill. It's not just a little flame, it's this enormous beacon you can see for miles around. It symbolizes that original column of light, the Jyotirlinga.
Wow, that must be absolutely spectacular. The whole town lit up by this giant flame of devotion.
It really is something else. And then you also have Maha Shivaratri, usually February or March. That's another major festival marked by night-long prayers, pujas, and fasting.
These aren't just dates on a calendar, are they? They sound like these intense, collective spiritual experiences.
Definitely. These festivals, plus the constant stream of pilgrims day in, day out, really highlight the town's role as this vital spiritual hub. It's a continuous thread of faith, stretching back centuries and still incredibly vibrant today.
So, okay, we have this ancient place, incredibly sacred, buzzing with life, known all over India. But here's the really interesting part for our discussion today. It's known by two main names, Tiruvannamalai and Arunachalam.
Exactly. And this isn't about confusion, really. It's where this naming dialogue maybe truly begins.
Yeah, dialogue is better than conundrum. It's about how this single, unified spiritual heart navigates having multiple identities through these different names.
And each name holds real significance for different groups of people.
Okay, let's break them down. Tiruvannamalai, that's the local traditional Tamil name, right?
Yes. It translates beautifully to something like sacred and accessible mountain. It's deeply rooted in the local Tamil identity, the language, the land itself in Tamil Nadu.
Got it. And then there's Arunachalam.
Arunachalam comes from Sanskrit. It means red mountain, probably referring to the hill's color, especially at sunrise or sunset.
Ah, okay. Makes sense.
And what's really important here is that Arunachalam is the name widely used by Telugu and Kannada speakers, particularly devotees coming from neighboring states like Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka. For them, it's not just some alternative name. It's their traditional name for the place, the one they've likely grown up with, the one passed down.
So it's their cherished way of referring to this sacred site.
Absolutely. And just to add another layer, you sometimes hear other names too, like Annamalai or Arunagiri. It just shows how incredibly rich India's linguistic landscape is, like a beloved person having several nicknames, each with its own history.
Right. But recently, there was this little spark, a moment of, let's stick with your word, sensitivity.
Yes, exactly. There was a situation resolved pretty quickly, actually, where some government buses had destination boards showing Arunachalam instead of Tiruvannamalai.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unofficial signage.
Right. And this kicked off some discussion, especially online, about cultural identity, about what names on public signs mean in a place with such a strong linguistic heritage like Tamil Nadu.
So it's crucial to get this right. This wasn't really a name fight in the sense of people arguing over which name is spiritually correct or anything like that.
No, not at all. It was more highlighting this deeply felt sensitivity around cultural identity and how place names are just so tied up with that.
It kind of reminds me of the Mumbai versus Bombay situation, historically speaking. Bombay carries colonial echoes for many, while Mumbai is a clear assertion of local Marathi identity.
That's a great analogy. Names carry history, they carry meaning, they carry a sense of belonging for communities. It's really profound.
So for some locals, seeing Arunachalam on a bus sign, even if it wasn't intended badly.
Right. It might unintentionally signal something non-Tamil, as some pointed out in those discussions. It becomes this linguistic marker touching on identity, even if the person using the name has no intention other than reverence.
But, and this is a big but, we need to be super clear, the devotees from Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka who use Arunachalam, they use it as their traditional name. There's zero intention of disrespecting Tiruvannamalai.
Absolutely none. For them, it's the name linked to generations of their family's devotion. It's the natural, heartfelt way they connect to the place.
So, stepping back to see the bigger picture here.
What you see is that both names exist side by side. Both are valid. Both reflect this incredible unity and diversity that really defines India. There isn't some official fight on record.
Right. What people saw recently was more like a brief flare-up of cultural dialogue, maybe. Differing views on public representation, not a fight over the place's soul.
Exactly. A dialogue about identity markers in the public sphere, which is a valid conversation to have, but separate from the shared reverence for the place itself.
So how does this all feel on the ground, for someone visiting? You can imagine a local shop owner born and raised there, maybe using Tiruvannamalai primarily, and they're talking to a pilgrim from, say, Hyderabad, who naturally says Arunachalam.
Yeah, and they both understand perfectly what they mean. They both share that deep reverence for the spiritual heart of the place. The name difference is there, but the shared devotion kind of bridges it. It's this subtle, really beautiful interplay of language and identity.
So from a visitor's point of view, it's maybe less about choosing a right name and more about appreciating this very duality.
I think so. It's an opportunity to see this richness firsthand. Whether you hear someone say Tiruvannamalai or Arunachalam, you know you're being directed to the same incredibly powerful spiritual center.
So practical advice for someone thinking of going.
Just embrace it all, really. Be aware of the names, perhaps, but mostly focus on the experience. Getting there is pretty straightforward. It's about 180 kilometers from Chennai, maybe a 3-4 hour drive or bus ride,
Okay, manageable.
and accommodation.
There's a range, hotels, guest houses, but also ashrams. The Sri Ramana ashram is very well known, offering a serene space for those more focused on the spiritual retreat aspect.
Yeah, and culturally. Oh, definitely. Like any major sacred site in India, dressing modestly is important. Covering shoulders and knees, especially when entering the temple complex or walking the Girivalam path. It's just basic respect for the local traditions and the sanctity of the place.
Good tip. It's part of immersing yourself properly, isn't it? Acknowledging the deep devotion that fills the air there.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, whichever name you use, whichever name you hear, the spiritual essence, that profound experience you can have there, that remains constant. It's not really about the label.
It's about the journey, the feeling, the connection people find there.
Precisely. It reinforces this idea that genuine reverence, true devotion, it goes beyond linguistic boundaries. That collective energy poured into the place by millions over centuries, that's what binds everyone together no matter the name they use.
So as we wrap up our deep dive today, the key takeaway is this. Tiruvannamalai and Arunachalam aren't rivals. They're two valid, deeply felt names for one incredibly powerful spiritual center.
It reflects not conflict, but this really vibrant blend of cultural identity, linguistic diversity, and shared faith.
It's proof, maybe, that different paths, different words, can lead to the same sacred goal and actually make the whole picture richer.
It does make you think, though. In a world that often wants things neatly defined, single labels for everything, what can we learn from a place like this? From its layered identity?
Yeah, what can Tiruvannamalai and Arunachalam teach us about embracing multiplicity, about understanding those really deep links between language, who we are, and our spiritual lives?
And it makes you wonder, doesn't it, what other places out there hold similar stories? Evolving names, shifting cultural currents, layers of meaning just waiting for us to, well, to listen more closely.
Absolutely. It really opens your eyes to how much hidden depth there is in the world around us, embedded in the very names we use every day. Lots to think about there.